Okay, so I had some parts come in. It's a good thing because now we can go ahead and hopefully finish this suspension wise, right? So what I picked up, this is a new thing from RC 4-wheel drive. It's rear shock mounts that are adjustable. So let's see what we got. So here's what we have. Should sit right about there. It'll give it a little bit of height like we want, and I think putting 80mm shocks in here will make it just about perfect. You know, sometimes things just become available just in the right, just at the right time. So alright, so I'm going to go ahead and throw these on and throw the 80mm on. I did get those. They're right here. Okay, so I installed these new RC 4-wheel drive shock mounts on here, and I gotta tell you, once I figured out what holes fit where, these things are awesome. I mean, as you can see, the shocks angle back at the moment, but I can move them up to the front. The new Trail Finder 2 with the Chevy Scottsdale actually puts it right into the frame rail. Does not even utilize this. I guess they figured somebody can go ahead and get the upgrade, but you know, when you're doing a project like this, you just, if this was not available at a decent price, I would have made my own. Okay, but this works out so great. I mean, it's just wow. The 80mm shocks are on. They're lined up like they're supposed to be. I mean, you can't get much better than that, right? Okay, so next up we'll be working on the front, because apparently I screwed something up. I have my panhard bar on the wrong side, and I need to switch that. When I say that, I mean this right here is supposed to be on the other side going to here. Otherwise it creates an X pattern, and the whole front is all bound up. So I'm going to go ahead and change that around, and we're going to put the 80mm on the front and see where we're at. Well, nobody likes to admit to making mistakes, but you know, I can't deny it. It happened. Okay. So what I need to do is take this and move it to here, and take this and flip it. And I was thinking about leaving this tie rod on the back side, but now I'm thinking putting it on the front. Okay, well, let's see what happens. I'm going to take this here off. This truss brace thing, looks like I already Loctited it in. Come on. Oh crap. Okay, now plan B. We have a stripped out screw. Where's plan B? Here it is. Right there. Alright, here we go. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this here off first. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make this a flathead. Looks like I already had it. Alright, here we go. And there it goes. I could have heated it, but that would destroy the paint. So, alright, so I got that switched around, and all I need to do now is take this and flip it. So the axle is set. Just need to put this tie rod end in. Okay, so here it is. Everything's flipped around. Tie rod end is up front. This should be at the back. Actually, I may have to flop that around. Yeah. Okay, so because it's going to the other side, the angled end will not work like that. Alright, so now all I gotta do is take the frame and flop that around. Okay, so the panhard mount on the frame is actually separate from this, so I should be able to just take this screw and this screw out and flip it around. I gotta tell you that there is a time for Loctite and there is not, and right now, actually previously, was a time for not, especially if you're not done. Fortunately, the grinding the flathead part for the other one, for the axle, was enough to enough heat, I will say, to free up that Loctite. Here's another example of using too much Loctite. I got too much Loctite on here, so this screw will not come out. Not without beating the crap out of it anyway. Everything here should be right. Just a matter of putting the 80mm shocks in. So let's do that. Well, I got the flatbed mounted, and it actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. Only some slight modification needed. Okay, so I had to cut right up in here and up in here to make clearance for the mounts that I received from RC 4-wheel drive, and which was not a big thing. I mean, I guess I would not have to clearance it at all. If I would have just screwed it into the frame rail, it would have been just fine. So, but I like this way, this setup, a lot better than the way it was before. As far as mounting it, all the holes seem to line up. Both sides up here, both sides back here, everything lined up. I think it looks really good, you know. I'm gonna have to do some work on the cab part because it just isn't lining up, so I may have to do something with that. Was to go ahead and put these at the body mounts where they are right now. This gap would be all wrong. So yeah, and just to show you, my suspension is right there. What we got? There's 2 inches right there. Let's try to go. Ooh. That's 4. That's really pushing it right there. That shock is completely compressed. The rear is about 4 inches as well. As you can see, the tires are rubbing right here, but that's at full compression right there. And they're just rubbing a little bit, so I'm not really concerned about that. What I'll most likely end up having to do later on is trim this, because I've extended the wheelbase so much. I may have to trim up here. Probably bring it out, you know, kind of like at an angle, so the tire will clear. Either way, I'm pretty happy with how this part turned out. One thing to remember if you've never done anything like this before, is that when you get one thing working, don't be surprised if something else isn't. And once you get everything all dialed in like you want it, the satisfaction is just incredible. So, yeah, I'm liking that. I think this is going to be a pretty capable rig in the end. The turning radius is not going to be incredible, but the flatbed right here is just the base of what I want to do going down the line. So I don't know if I've talked about it before, but I have talked about making a wrecker. So why not, I don't know, instead of trail mater, we'll just make a toy mater. Okay? Alright. So I think we've accomplished what we need to in this video. The 80mm shocks have worked out excellent. There's still no oil in them, but I like how the suspension is working. I like how this worked out, and the only thing I have to really complain about is not much. The next video we're going to be working on this cab, getting it lined up. I may need to make different mounts for it. Going to get the engine bay back in it, because you can't do anything without the engine bay in it. Everything's got to jive, right? And there's a possibility that I may take these Gelande 2 shock hoops off and put the originals back in, just because I think it should come up a little bit more. Oh yeah, one more thing is that I put a cheap servo right here, right up in here. I may need to get a smaller one. I think this one came out of the HP 407, so it's not exactly small. The one that's in the steering right now is a lot smaller, so either I put one of these over here, or I go with something completely different. You all tell me, what do you think would fit in here and not interfere with the body? Yep, looks pretty damn awesome, I think. Okay, so if you like this video, make sure to give a like, click, subscribe, leave a comment on anything I've done. If there's anything you would have done different, you can help me out, let me know. Sarson Mechanic. I'll catch you on the next one.